Okay, I've been asked to do a video just to show how I connect video clips in Video Express, because Video Express gives you like a 4-second animation from photo to video. And if you click the extended button, it gives you an 8-second. But when it does the 8-second, it actually almost gets it into slow motion. So I think it's maybe interpolated. Instead of having it at real time, it's basically just time stretches it out. Hence the need that I find that when the video's rendered, the piece that I'm rendering, I pretty much want to speed it up to get it to a natural speed. So there's been a question as to how do I speed it up? How do I join the video so they are so seamless? Now, the video that's on Facebook that I put up there, it is relatively seamless. If you look closely, you'll see maybe between 1 or 2 sections there'll be a color grading issue detected. But I think what we are trying to do is to realize that AI at the moment, and the Video Express platform particularly, don't allow you for an extended video prompt. Okay, so there's certain things you've got to be aware of when you do the prompt, etc. But I want to show you the tools that I use, which isn't all inside Video Express. Okay, so let's get going. If you're going to get tired of watching, because it might be a bit of a long video, I've tried to put in the description at the bottom little timestamps that you can hop to different things. But if you have the time, just put it on and get the nuts and bolts of what I'm going across. I don't want to leave out elements that might be of value to somebody else. So yeah, take it for what it is. So first of all, I think important is, if you're going to use a photo to bring in, that you are limited to these two dimensions, 16 by 9, which is landscape, which is a common one, or vertical. So if your photo is not those dimensions, it won't allow it to pull in. Then again, you can create your own image using, I've got Artistly, and there's an API that links into it. Or you could use here, create from prompt. You can create an image and then the video prompt. I particularly use, as much as I can, I want to use an actual, SLR or mirrorless camera snap of something. The reason being, if I'm using things that relate to human beings, I want it as clear as possible. Challenge is when you start going into the second and the third clip, the color grading of it shifts out. The colors are not that perfect, but at least you're getting to see it. Again, I have to just repeat that, yes, we are doing a video on how to capture the actual 2 video clips to let them run seamlessly. But I have to cover these other nuances because they are part of the process. The other thing is that you've just got to be aware of is that the engine that Video Express is using as the AI is not perfect. You're going to have sometimes with the fingers going out of sorts, as AI does. So one day when the engine is sorted out perfectly, then when you generate, you'll have perfect hands, fingers, eyes, and quality and all that. For now, it's all about which tools we use and how I can create a video that links up seamlessly. And then I think the other question is going to be, how do we actually speed up the video so it seems natural? Because I think inherently the algorithm of Video Express is actually slowing down the video, because if you ask for a normal video, it gives you 4 seconds. Then you can have an extended thing that gives you 8 seconds. And I think pretty much what it's doing in the back end is just slowing the video down. It's not kind of giving you extended version. It's basically slowing it down. So when we're done with the video generation, I'm going to show you a method of how to speed it up. The last 2 things about programs is I use Camtasia. Camtasia is a paid-for program. So in this video, I want to show you the one that you get totally for free. So this is the company Blackmagic. They have cameras, like high-end cameras. Okay, so they've been around forever. They eventually developed their own software because they used to package it with other companies' software because they were the hardware company. They eventually decided to build their own software, and then because of the integration, their software became like almost the standard software out there. And what is brilliant about it is that you have a free version. which will sort out your issues if you want to capture frames and do all the stuff that I'm going to do. Basically, 99% of people who don't do high-end video editing will benefit from the free version. The paid-for version is a once-off payment, but what it allows you to do is things like, high-end color grading things, but also when you are masking out people, like a guy's running and he's got something written on his sweater and you want to mask that out and put something else on his sweater, it gives you that flexibility, and it's very, very powerful. But you can download the free version and you don't have to pay a cent to be able to do it. So I'm going to show it to you in Davinci, although I use Camtasia because I'm busy recording even this video in Camtasia. I'm doing this session in Camtasia itself, so hence it just makes sense for me to use Camtasia quite a few of the times. Okay, so that's the back into it. Let me close off these two tabs. So here we come to image to video. That's the one I use, and we are going to select an image. This selection goes into a panel on top here on the right, says media. It's basically that media panel. Now we're going to go to all of these things. Again, I'm not going to do a Video Express massive tutorial because I'm showing you a technique more than anything else. But just to give you the insights that you go to images, that's where I'm going to put my images. I am going to use a standard image and not an AI generated image because I don't want my master file, my starting reference point, to have, funny fingers and eyes and all that. One day it will be ready, but we're going to go this route for now. So let's see, what was the image that I downloaded? Okay, so here we go. So this is a 16:9 image. Also, when you make your selection of images, the ones that you have very close up to people and then you animate away from them becomes a little bit of a challenge because the AI from video clip to video clip has to recreate things around, and often it changes the person's face or something into the second clip, although you're giving it the original that you're working with. So let me just click upload here. We select that and you say choose. So what this has done now is brought in a photo, a high quality photo that you're going to be working on. So this isn't an AI generated photo. Okay, these happen to be my daughters. The eldest one on the right there, and the one with the spectacles, my youngest one. They're like separated by like 4 years. Okay, so I'm not going to put on sharp with human faces for this tutorial. I'm going to just go boost video length. Again, as I say, I think it's just interpolating. It's just taking the actual render 4 seconds and slowing it down to make it 8. That's my impression. In future, I think it will be really generating the quality and the speed and everything. So I'm going to say that one thing I want to recommend is that you think of it in terms of little 4-second slots. So if you are watching a video and it's 4 seconds you are watching, you're not going to see them turning around, running and diving in the water and swimming and coming back in 4 seconds. So your prompt is going to be something that relates to that 4 seconds. Keep the prompt within the time frame. In future, when Video Express gives us, you can render for a minute's worth of video, or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, then you can give a full narrative and you can get AI to help you with a narrative because you are telling the story for 3 or 5 minutes. You're telling that narrative. In this case, you are telling a narrative for 4 seconds. And what happens in 4 seconds is the only thing you must capture. Else, if you start to explain too many things, it's basically going to do the first part of it, or it's going to distort what you're trying to say. This is the other key element. I, at this point in time, just use it for human and photorealistic. Reason for that is if it works on these things and it's able to replicate at least quality of faces, movement and that, then your 2D and 3D sort of videos are not going to be a problem, because 2D and 3D there's certain nuances, even with talking videos with 2D and 3D are less obvious when there are, sort of alterations than with the human, because a human, you recognize the face, you recognize if there's any nuance change, you can pick that up very quickly with human faces and bodies, because we are humans after all. Okay, so 2 girls walking on the beach while the camera pans to the left. Okay, what the program does nicely also, even though you're giving it the image and you're giving it the video prompt, the action, it analyzes the picture and it will know that there's water that it has to animate, and it sort of replicate what we've got here. So I don't have to choose image, I have already, and now we go to create video. Again, you probably might know all of this stuff that happens in Video Express, but I'm doing the video to be comprehensive for those who don't even know which buttons to click here. And in the bottom here, I'll put a timeline. So, if you're wanting to know how to access the last frame, then you click there and you can just watch it from there. But I think for somebody who's like brand new to it, I want to take them through a process. So if you know all of this, please be patient. You can just skip ahead. So I'm going to go create video. So the key here is for this thing to create a video, and I don't use, okay, let me just see here. Your video will appear under media, which is on top right there. We'll go there now. But I don't use this application to get my still image, my last still image, because it's like second guessing you for a go. And then when you try and right click and save, then it saves it as a WebP extension, WEBP extension, which is a compressed, highly compressed format. I want to take the video that we've created and take the last frame out there in a video editor. Hence, I've introduced you to Davinci Resolve. Or if you have Camtasia, you could probably just do that. I'm not going to be talking about Camtasia. It is quite simple, but it's a paid for thing, and I don't want to get anybody to commit just for that. Davinci will be the one we'll work with, and I'll show you how to capture that last frame and to speed ramp it, to speed up the video itself. Okay, so while that is generating, I basically want to just highlight the fact that your quality of your video is also dependent on the AI engine that Video Express is using. So if you find in that 4 seconds, one hand is this way and 5 fingers come out here and 2 fingers out this, that is the AI engine. That over time, if the company chooses to have their own AI engine that generates perfect human structures in that, then we'll get to that point. But that's a progression of time. What we have now is what we have as far as the generating of the video goes. When the video gets to the end frame, the last frame, the quality of that frame might not be, it most likely is not going to be like the original image that you put in the high quality image. But that's what we have to use, because that is where the continuity takes place, and we'll produce from that point. Okay, so let's go and look here at the media, and we're going to go under My AI Videos, and we'll see that progressing over there. Okay, it's on 68%. While that's happening there, one thing I would like to explain about videos for those who aren't aware. When you watch a video, you possibly might have heard of frame rate, like the thing must be 30 frames per second. That all video is a still picture, but say for example, if it's 30 frames, it's 30 still pictures in different sequences put together, and in 1 second those 30 frames are shown, and our eye detects it as a video, as motion. In some cases where people would have it as 60 frames a second, it means there's 60 images there, and it shows much faster and it becomes more clear, etc. So those are the nuances that you have when you have a 30 frame and 60 frames per second. So this video that we are making, we want to capture that last frame. So there most likely will be 25 frames per second or 30 frames per second this video is. So we want to get to that 30th frame, that very last frame. Because if we're not on that last frame, you're going to detect there's going to be a little bit of glitch, because to your human eye, you might think the last 5 frames look exactly the same, but that will be detected if you do it that way. And I will highlight it again when we get to the Davinci part. So here's the video. Let's just play it. In real life, I would redesign this because it's changed basically what my 2 daughters look like. Now, for some people, they might go like, no, those look like the 2 girls. But again, this is the AI's part of the story. So when the AI gets to the point that it can do a consistent character from the image you've given it, then it will produce it. So I'm not going to focus too much on, worrying about the consistency of characters. I'm looking at the action and the video smoothness. Here you notice it's got 8 seconds. And again, I would say it's basically because we have this thing in slow motion. It's probably generated 4 seconds, and then after the 4 seconds, it's just slowed it down. So my objective is, based on that example video I did on the Facebook group, was to speed it up to get it back to its normal speed. And that I do in Davinci also. I'll show you that. So here the key is to take this video and get this very last frame, because that becomes the first frame of the next section, etc. So as you generate, you want to get it out. But people might go here and they'll go, and let's see what these things give. Here, like you can download the whole video, but they'll put it on the timeline, click it, and then save it. But it's giving you a WebP file. A WebP file is a compressed file, as I mentioned. It's not going to be the best quality. The video itself has dropped its quality already because of the AI generation. So you want to give it the best option. So I would take this, right click on here, download this video. You can click leave, yes. And then I'm going to go into Davinci. Again, Davinci is intense. So I'm not giving you a tutorial on I'm showing you how to bring the video in, capture that last frame, generate the next one in Express, and bring it in here, and then how we then can speed it up. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and say import media. All of this that I'm doing, you've got to go learn from Davinci. So there's going to be a learning curve. So here we go. 2 girls walking. That is the original one there. I'm pulling in the video, and I'm just going to drag it onto the timeline. So if you see there and I play, okay, like if you look at that face is nowhere near that face. You can see, even if I just move it slowly, you're going to see there the face distorts. Okay. It's going into a total different kind of look. But again, the point about it is that we are doing the connection, not the AI. Okay, so with Davinci, if you bring it onto the timeline, just to highlight here, there's 2 timelines here at the bottom. This is a cut timeline, and this is the edit timeline. You can open the edit timeline, drag it on here. Okay, so if I want to get to the last frame here, I can just click here and go, and that will pop onto the exact last frame. Now, if I want to move frames forward, which is to my right, on Davinci, I go onto it, my keyboard, there's the arrows, the normal arrows that go right, left, up, and down, the 4 arrows. Here, if I tap once and to the right, it will go 1 frame. So if there's 30 frames per second video, if I tap once, it will go frame 1. If I tap twice, frame 2. If I do it 30 times, that will go through 30 frames, and that's basically will be 1 second's worth of video. So if I tap to the right, it should go black. There we go. If I tap back again, so that is the very last frame. And in Davinci, we go to this little tab at the bottom. These are all like 5 independent programs that they've merged into one, which makes it very powerful. So I'm going to the color grade section, and I'm going to click there. And then if I hover over here, I'm going to right click and it says grab still, and that's what I want to do. I can grab all of them or turn them all into still pictures, but I'm just going to grab this one. So I click there, and it will put it on the right side here, there 1.11. That's this exact last. Then I'm going to right click on the still here, and I'm going to say export. Okay, and then I'm going to export it, say, to this pictures folder, but I'm going to just rename it RTS, for example. So I've exported this last frame. Now, when I go back to the video, I'm going to use that last frame as the very first frame of the recording. Okay, so I'm going to go again to the media section. I'm going to go to images because I want to bring that image in now, and then I'm going to upload that image that I did, the last image. So I go to pictures, and what was it? This one. So that's the last picture. Again, I'm going to click upload. Again, I'm using a poorer quality image because this has been rendered by the AI. Although it's like 6.2 megs in size, the resolution wouldn't be as high. Okay, so if I go here now, this is the render. If I preview this, that's the quality we have, but this is what the video gave me. So I can't ask for more. It's not, if I go and I look at my original picture, here you'll see the original picture is clear because that was taken from a still. This one is the highest you're going to get, but this is the AI rendered last frame. Okay, but let's use that. So I'm going to go again, same procedure, go to image to video, select, go to the images that are uploaded, which is this one now, select it and say choose. Okay, I reiterate the same things previously because you're giving a prompt for 4 seconds. Don't even think about the 8 seconds, that's just slow down. For 4 seconds, you are giving a prompt of the next activity. So don't get overwhelmed and tell it the whole 9 yards of what it must do. So I'll go in here and I will say, in 4 seconds, they can actually turn and the camera can move to the back while they walk towards the ocean. If I want them to jump in the water, I wouldn't say it now because in this visual, within 4 seconds, they might not even get to the water, etc. So if you give it too many commands, you're just confusing. It's going to drop off certain instructions along the way. So we'll keep the video boost length and let's create the video. Okay, here's the second one is done here. Now, again, you could take this one, put it on the timeline, and take this one and put it on the second timeline and join them. And it should do the same thing. So if you're walking there, that's, see there, the join comes in, which you don't particularly notice much of, do you? Isn't that quite cool? The faces, of course, is my never-ending point, the consistency. So there they're walking, and look at this timer here. They're walking and chatting, and then it comes to the point where we're joined. You can see there's a little bit of slight sort of shade over. If you look, you'll see it. Doom, like the sky has a little bit of a, but in the greater scheme of things, you know, you could go into the video final post-production and you could go and color grade that specific thing so that there's not that change over it, which is a little flash. But again, when we speed this up, if we speed this up, that little flash becomes negligible in the greater scheme of things. This one as my next one. I'm going to download that, go to Davinci, import media. This is the second one. Okay. So we go there and we play. Okay, so the same key here is now I'm I want to get the last frame, so I'll go there. And if I go one right arrow and go off it, come back just to make sure I'm on the right space. By now, faces have changed considerably. The hairstyle has changed and everything. But yeah, that's not too much. Let me not get caught up in that. We're going to go to color grade. We're on the last frame. Let me just show again. We've jumped right to the end, moved the arrow. We've come here, move right to the end, move arrow off, move arrow on. It's the exact last frame. We then go color grade, right click, grab still, which is the second one. I'm going to right click, export under pictures. We're going to put it here. Just save that. Let's head on back. Okay, so putting in the other clip here, you can see I'm going to move one frame at a time, and you'll see now when we transition over, you'll see the, okay, so you'll probably see, if you look at the lighting here, and if I click there, you can see the lighting switches from the one to the other. Now, the thing is, if you want to do, I mean, it's really not that too obvious, but if you want to correct that, you can actually, in Davinci, you can do color grading where you, and I'm not going to show that now, but you can select one of these sections and say apply that color grading across all of them, and then it will tone the sky, everything in that. But again, we're not trying to correct character consistency and all that. We're just trying to go for last video input and the smoothness with that. So I'll render this one out, and then we'll play it right at the end. I'll render it and then load it in the editing in the program so you can watch it. At the moment now, I'm screen recording, so there's going to be a bit of latency and lag. So here we go. So we're going to select all of them, and you look at the speed that it's playing. It's the slow motion thing. So you select all and right click on the videos, and here you can see change clip speed. Okay, and what I did mine on Camtasia was I changed it from the speed to half the speed more. So if it was playing at 1, I was saying play it at 1.5. So in essence, I'm going to just try this out, and if it's playing 100% of the speed, I'm going to just say let's go 150. I don't know if this is going to work because I did mine on Camtasia. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, there is a way of keeping them all together, but I mean you can just shift it together. So let's see what the speed is like now. Okay, that's more of a natural flow with it. Okay, and I'm going to render it out, and then you'll probably see it a bit better. And then if you have a video that you're doing as a production, if this is the full video, you know, you can add your kind of transition in effect or whatever it is. I just put a little fade out and fade in. Cool. So hopefully that helps. And once again, my apology for the length of it, but I think, find what matters for you and then learn from that. Have a great day. Be blessed, and shalom to everybody.